What's going on, guys? It's me, Atlanta Fan 2016 here, and today we have another flight report for you guys. I hope you guys are excited for today's video, so without being said, let's get started. Welcome to Sacramento International Airport on this warm summer evening. I got a special trip to attend, and I can't wait to go over the details in today's video. Today I'll be flying with Delta Airlines from Sacramento International Airport to Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. The flight time is 4 hours and 12 minutes. This is all part of my trip to Kansas City to attend the Airliners International 2024 convention. I'm super excited to attend my second airlines convention, and it's gonna be a blast when I touch down in KC for the first time. In addition, I'm super excited to visit the world's busiest airport for the first time. It's like a dream has turned into a reality, and I can't wait for this adventure to begin. Welcome to Gate Alpha 3. Our aircraft is currently getting prepared by the crew for the red-eye flight. But, let's have a look at the aircraft I'll be flying tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you. This is your Delta Flight 769. This is still on answer here at 83. My name is Jose with me as Lisa. We'll be your agent for your flight time. We expect an on-time departure of 10:59, arriving to Atlanta at 6:31 a.m. local time. Just a few last notes on how we board today. On today's flight, we do board by zone number. Your zone number is located right beneath or right next to your seat assignment. We would ask you please take the time to locate your zone number and please board.
Always nice to fly on a Delta mainline aircraft like the 737-900ER. With a total of 163 aircraft in service, they still hold the title as the largest customer of the type. As of this flight, the aircraft is nearly a decade old, having her first flight in November 2014. But even for a young age, this aircraft still carries passengers from various destinations across Delta's hubs across the country. But it's not too long enough for a wait as Zone 6 was being called for boarding. We'll be expecting a full flight. It is expected for an evening flight like this one. So, let's not waste further time and get on board. Good evening.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to seat 16A. Nothing too much to go over since I always love sitting on the window seat. One thing I'll add though is how close my seat was to the CFM56 engine. There are only 2 items on each seat pocket in economy class. Each contain a safety card and a sick bag. Let's have a look at the safety card first. As you can see, there are a bunch of great illustrations on the safety demonstrations that are featured on this aircraft with some nice attention to details. And as I look at the sick bag, nothing to go over, but it'll always come in handy when you need it. As for the legroom, it has plenty of space. Economy seats are measured by 30.7 inches in pitch and 17 inches in width. For a person my height, I think the dimensions are excellent, so great work Delta on that. In the IFE screen, you'll find the earphone and USB connecting ports. Of course, those connect your personal devices, as well as the plug-in outlet at the bottom of the seat, perfect to charge larger devices like laptops. And looking overhead, you have the PSU, standard as always with every 737NG. You also have a personal air vent, reading lamp, and a flight attendant call light, along with additional features too. Delta has 3 different configurations on their 737-900ER fleet. Both of them are separated into 3 classes: Delta First, Comfort Plus, and Main Cabin. The aircraft I'm flying on has a total of 180 seats, with 20 Delta First seats arranged in a 2-2 configuration, 27 Comfort Plus seats, and 133 Main Cabin Economy seats. Both of them are arranged in a 3-3 configuration. These may vary depending on which aircraft you're flying on. The weather outside is looking great for tonight's departure. As shown on the METAR data for June 26, 2024, the winds are blowing from the south at 180 degrees with 12 knots of wind speed along with 10 statute miles of visibility. It also shows that there are broken cloud layers at 19,000 feet AGL. The temperature outside is 23 degrees Celsius and the dew point is 9 degrees Celsius. It's also nice to experience a nighttime departure, despite the ground not being visible once in the air, but I'm excited to take it down to the East Coast for this red-eye flight.
To put customers first, to welcome you with an experience designed with you in mind. Because at Delta, it's not just the destination, it's the journey that makes the difference.
And let's push out of Gate Alpha 3. We pushed back at 11:04 p.m. A few minutes behind our scheduled departure time, but we should be heading to the runway in no time.
The power of one may be strong, but the power of 100,000, it's unstoppable. It's the journey that makes the difference.
Lift the top of the buckle.
Stay seated with your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on, and keep it fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden repair. In the event of repair, the crew might also need to buckle up for safety. We appreciate your understanding if our service is interrupted.
Better regulations require
Completely under the seat in front of you. Larger electronic devices must be placed in a bag. Handheld portable electronic devices, including mobile phones, should also be secured. Keep the aisles, exit, and bulkhead areas clear.
If you lose an electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat and ask a crew member for help. As we leave the gate, fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal
For
tip.
safety check, please let us know if you have any questions. As we get ready for takeoff, please settle in. And from all of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta.
Our taxi route will take us to runway 17 left for departure. We'll be crossing taxiways Charlie 3, turn left onto Delta, and turn right onto Delta 3 before holding short. We'll then fly on a southerly heading before we make a few right turns over southern Nevada and fly an easterly heading towards Georgia. And let's take off on runway 17 left. Again, the ground will no longer be visible once we're in the air, but we should be able to see some lights during our departure sequence. Make sure to stay tuned for the in-flight videos as those will be coming out very soon. climb to our cruising altitude of flight level 330 or 33,000 feet. Before the in-flight service begins, let's talk about one additional amenity, which is a pair of Delta earphones. Usually, flight attendants would hand this out to every passenger before departure or during cruise. Whether you want to use it to watch a movie, listen to music, or use it on your next Delta flight, this really comes in handy. And while I did not use it on this flight, the sound quality is excellent. Next, you have the iFeed system, a true state-of-the-art technology used by many airlines. As for Delta's iFeed system, you can select a variety of languages. There's English, Spanish, French, German, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and more. I do love the diversities I'm seeing on the screen. Once you select your language, you get put into the home screen. From there, you can see a wide variety of selections. You can choose what movies or TV series you want to watch, what genre of music you want to listen to, and a whole lot more. As I look through the Movies tab, there's a great selection of movies to choose from, including some higher grossing films and new releases as well. You can arrange them in alphabetical order. That same goes when I scroll through the TV series tab. Delta also has the capability to stream live TV during a flight. This feature is truly unique as most US carriers have the ability to include this for their customers. You can watch the latest news or live sports coverage as well. There's also a kids section too, perfect for the little ones. And of course, we have my personal favorite, the My Flight tab. Once open, it displays the aircraft type and serial number, flight number and route, the estimated time of arrival, the total distance traveled, and a whole lot more. In addition, you can also tap on the aircraft details so you can learn more about the range, seating capacity, and top speed about this particular aircraft. A perfect tool for A-geeks like me. The More tab features some additional tabs, including food and drinks, games, about Delta, feedback, and help. Those are there if you ever want to try it out for yourself. Delta provides fast streaming Wi-Fi to many customers, especially with their proud partner, T-Mobile. Connecting to the in-flight Wi-Fi is pretty easy. You first need to connect to the Delta Wi-Fi network. From there, you need to enter your SkyMiles number and password. And once that's done, you now have fast streaming Wi-Fi on your devices. And while I didn't use it too much on this flight, I still was able to watch a few YouTube videos once connected. Delta, along with some other US airlines, have one of the best in-flight Wi-Fis, and I would highly recommend trying it out. And whenever you're watching a movie and you have those Delta earphones, the earphone and USB jack ports are illuminated so you can see them clearly in the dark. And here's the in-flight snack. A lot to choose from considering that this is a red-eye flight. Let's start things off with a cup of water. Normally, my drink of choice is Coke for these flights, but since it's late in the evening, I'll change my drink for this one. Now unlike some flights I did with Delta, flight attendants handed out 2 snacks instead of 1, which is something I wasn't expecting. I first had a dark chocolate sea salt granola bar, which actually tasted good after taking a few bites. And of course, we have Delta's famous Biscoff cookies. A flight on Delta would never be completed without those. And let's not forget about the napkin too. I like on how they designed them. Overall, this was a nice refreshing snack to get myself settled for this 4-hour journey. Now to give you a short description about the tray table, it's clean and you can fit your larger electronic devices like laptops easily. Now let's have a look at the lavatory, shall we? And here we go with a loo view. Pretty much your average lavatory on a Boeing 737. I can still move around the lavatory, and thankfully my head is nowhere close to the ceiling. As I pan down to the sink, you'll see a tappable faucet and a soap dispenser. It's always important to keep those hands clean. In addition, you also find 2 sets of paper towels. Always gotta have an extra stock of one just in case. You'll also find a changing station along with a storage compartment containing some extra lavatory items. I also want to mention that there are 2 sets of toilet paper located at the bottom of the sink. And I always can't end this review without a wave in the mirror. After sleeping for a few hours, I woke up to a beautiful sunrise as we flew over the Georgia countryside. It's crazy to think that I went from West Coast to East Coast in just 4 hours. One might say that time has flown by really fast. But it's not too long as the lights have illuminated the cabin and the flight crew are doing their pre-landing checklist, meaning that we're about to begin our descent. Before I touch down, let's go over the METAR data of Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International. As you can see, there's not a lot of weather phenomenon that will be happening during the arrival sequence, as the winds are blowing 190 degrees at 3 knots and the visibility is 10 statute miles. In addition, we have few clouds at 25,000 feet and the temperature is 27 degrees Celsius with a dew point of 16 degrees Celsius. Atlanta is known for its stormy weather during the summer months, which usually happens during the late afternoon hours, but since it's early in the morning, I was able to luck out on this one. Our approach into ATL would take us to runway 26 right for final. We'll be flying on a left downwind leg before we make a 180 degree turn over State Route 138. We flew over small states like Riverdale and Forest Park, but while this approach is simple, I'm super excited to land at the world's busiest airport for the first time. So without further ado, let's begin our descent into Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. Enjoy this landing, everybody. and welcome to the world's busiest airport, Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. Time now is almost 6:30 in the morning here in the East Coast, but I'm just super excited to step foot onto Delta's largest hub. So with those sequence of events out of the way, let's get into my overall review for this flight. To start, the number of amenities were good for this particular flight. Though it's nothing much to go over, but it's the same deal for every Delta domestic flight, so the amenities will receive a 9 out of 10. As always, the Delta flight crew are amazing. They know how to go all in with their passengers, and they sure did it for this flight. Plus, the captain was kind enough to give me a trading card after the flight, which was an amazing experience to finally have one of their trading cards after each flight. So the flight crew will receive a perfect score of 10 out of 10. As for the legroom, there isn't too much to go over as well. There was enough room to stretch my legs while I was sleeping, but I think just an inch more on the spacing will do the trick. So the legroom category will receive a 9 out of 10. Delta has an outstanding in-flight Wi-Fi system. Being able to connect to fast streaming Wi-Fi easily is a great benefit for a passenger's experience, but it gets even better once connected. The uniqueness of Delta's Wi-Fi system stands out to many airlines in the US, so the in-flight Wi-Fi category will be receiving a 10 out of 10, another perfect score. And that same goes for their IFE system. The amount of selections they offer is enough to satisfy a passenger. From the various movies and songs to listen to, and the interactive features, this is definitely one of the best IFE systems I get to experience, so that category will also receive a perfect score of 10 out of 10. There wasn't too much to go over for the in-flight snack, but I do love the fact they provided 2 snacks instead of 1, but I do wish there was some variety of snack options I could choose. But considering the notes I mentioned, I do want to be kind and give the in-flight snack category a 9.5 out of 10. The cabin on these refurbished 739s are amazing. Delta did an outstanding job on coming up with this design. Plus, many parts of my seat are clean, which is a huge plus. So that category will be receiving a 10 out of 10 as well. As previously mentioned, the flight didn't provide too much views on the ground since this was a night flight, but the sunrise over Georgia really stands out from this entire flight. But I will add, the flight was at least comfortable and relaxing, despite me sleeping 2 hours after departure. And with those reviews out of the way, it's time for me to give the overall total score for this flight. This flight on Delta is what really started my idea of coming up with these trips where I fly around just for fun. For as long as I have a destination airport to go to that requires me to lay over at another airport, I should be fine as long as I get to my destination safely and efficiently. And just like all of my previous flights, Delta continues to provide an outstanding flight experience no matter what time of day it is, and I'm just glad to finally experience that for myself once again. So, for my flight from Sacramento International Airport to Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport with Delta Airlines, the total rating for this flight report is a 9.7 out of 10, just shy of becoming a 9.8, but that total score is identically the same.
You too. Thank you. You too.
Thanks for watching this flight report. So glad to be finally doing another flight report on this channel. Not only that, I'm happy to finally be back on posting content from Airliners International 2024 after months of hiatus. Expect more content from that convention to come within the next couple of months. But as for this Delta flight, it's amazing to fly in their 739s once again, especially when flying to their busiest hubs. Atlanta has been an airport I wanted to visit for a long time, and I was glad I made that happen. I will also provide you all with a plane spotting video on that day. Make sure to stay tuned for that video coming soon. But this is not the first time I took this flight. as I ended up flying on the exact same flight number and route a year later during my trip to Airliners International 2025. I'm super excited to get into that flight report once I premieres that. But to finish off this flight report, Delta continues to go above and beyond with their passengers, and I'm glad to be able to fly with them for yet another Airliners International journey. But it's not over yet, as I got another exciting flight with DAL when I go to Kansas City in a few hours, and that flight is more sentimental than this one, and I'll make sure to premiere that video once it comes out. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on the post notification bell so you won't miss a new video like this anytime soon. And if you want to see some flight reports I did in the past, then you can click on that playlist, and it shows you all the flight reports I did ever since I started this YouTube channel. And those videos get a lot of views, so I would love to see this video gain a lot of views as well. So, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.
Igual que acá,